A very good evening to all of you. Also, a warm welcome to all our viewers who have joined us on the show. Welcome to our YouTube channel, Scepter. I'm your host, Dr. Mani Iyer, and I request every one of you to please kindly subscribe to this channel, Scepter, and also like this video podcast as well as share it with all your friends and relatives. This will go in a long way to support us in and also help us in producing many more such videos and also bring them to you. Thank you. All right, let's begin. Imagine this. You applied for your dream job, your resume has been shortlisted, you have the required qualifications, you know the technical answers, you enter the interview hall, the interviewer smiles and says, "Tell me something about yourself." And suddenly your mind goes blank. Has this ever happened to you? Or you worried it over. Here's the good news. Interviews are not just about what you know. They're also about how you present what you know. Our goal today is simple. We don't want you to leave thinking, I attended an interview skill session. We want you to leave thinking, I know exactly what I need to do differently in my next interview. To help you achieve this goal, we are joined by Ms. Gauri Indurkar. Uh, Welcome to the show, Gauri Indurkar ji. Gauri Indurkar is currently a counseling psychologist and certifies executive and life coach with an MA in psychology and an ISTD diploma in training and development. She is the member of International Council of Psychologists, USA, reflecting her professional engagement with the global psychological community. She has about 15 years of corporate experience with global MNCs, including Ford Motor Company and Bank of New York, with a lot of international exposure across various continents in the US, China, Thailand, and Japan. She's experienced in counseling, coaching, mentoring, and human development, helping individuals build self awareness, resilience, and realize their potential. Thank you very much, Gauriji, for joining us today. Uh,
Thank
Welcome
you
to
so
the show, and the floor is all yours. So I hand over the control to you. Before that, let me start with the question. Guriji, let's start with the most basic question. Why do otherwise capable and qualified young people struggle in job interviews?
First of all, thank you so much for having me in this podcast. Um, it's a great pleasure to mentor students and people looking for lateral placements. I hope to add some value based on my experience and expertise through this session. So, coming to your question, that why capable people sometimes, falter in the interview or get nervous in the interview. So typically, when the word interview comes, normally people think of it like I have to rehearse all my technical skills, get all prepped up, and I should know all the details of what my job actually requires. But people fail to understand one very basic thing here, that before even you present your technical skills, you're first presenting yourself. And when you bring yourself to the table, how you bring is something that needs to be focused upon. And sometimes people lose sight of it, and their entire energies are channelized towards honing the technical skills. And that's where they tend to less focus on the other basic yet very powerful key aspects. And that's where they don't feel very confident when they come to the interview. And I think that is the point where also people tend to get nervous because they have prepared only one side of the interview. They haven't focused on the other side of the interview, which is your grooming, presentation, soft skills.
Okay, that's very good. Thank you so much. So we often hear that first impressions matter. So in an interview, how quickly is that impression actually formed? And what are candidates communicating before they even speak?
So I think first impression is very, very important. There is no alternative to it. You don't get a second chance to create your first impression. That being said, when you first enter the room, the interview forms an opinion about you in first 7 seconds. How do you conduct yourself? How confident you are, how graceful your body posture and your personality is. And that kind of leads the interview. The go no go decision is somewhere made in the first 7 to 10 seconds of the interview. People hardly realize that. They feel that when they come to my technical skills, they'll know how aced I am, but that will come later. First is you being prepared. Now, when somebody comes very prepared, very well groomed, very nicely dressed, it gives two impressions. First, they are serious about the job, they really want the job. And second, they understand the importance of grooming. They understand the importance of how soft skill play a vital role in shaping your career, especially in the corporate space. These things becomes very vital when one tries to enter this professional world. So I think it's very important one person is groomed properly and they give enough time, efforts, and energy as much as they give to the technical skills, and also prepping themselves up completely with lots of deeper understanding about their own self and how best they can present in the actual forum.
So you have mentioned the importance of appearance. So obviously, appearance is very important. So where should a candidate draw the line between looking professional and trying too hard?
Looking professional and trying to,
Too hard.
okay, I think, see, looking professional is the need of the hour. Being well groomed doesn't necessarily mean that, you have to look very good. You don't have to look very good. Whatever God has gifted you with, whether you're thin, fat, tiny, tall, doesn't matter. The most important thing is, do you feel confident in your own skin for whatever personality you are? And that determines the plethora of other things. Now, you don't have to necessarily be someone like a hero or heroine when you go for the interview. But are you neat and clean? You should feel good. You should feel confident in your own body. And for that, if you are well dressed, if your attire is clean, if your attire is matching the occasion, if if your body language is poised, somewhere you automatically feel good about yourself, and that reflects in your conduct, and that is the first impression. That is the um, key important aspect of the interview, where you're giving an introduction about yourself to the interviewer before even you talk, before even you say something, because the interviewer starts observing you not when the question is asked. The moment you enter the room, how do you sense the space? How do you sense the people around you? Are you able to get a vibe? Are you able to create a vibe? Most importantly, many people, I see, they come to an interview with a very low energy, and the low energy is nothing to do with the process of interview. The low energy is because they don't feel very good about themselves or very confident about themselves while they enter into interview space, and then they are like, oh my god, they answer only to the point, they don't look in the eye, they look here and there, their energies are low. And the interviewer is the same person who is going to interview 20 other people. Maybe four or five of them are highly energetic, highly vibrant. So obviously the likeliness of them getting selected over a person with less energy, less confidence is higher.
Okay. Okay, let's come to the technical part. Many candidates know the answer to the question, but they somehow lose their confidence and become nervous. So, what does confident body language actually look like?
Confident body language, in my opinion, is a body language which is composed. And you can feel composed only when you have a sense of accomplishment, which will come through a lot of practice. When a person is practicing, They know that they have rehearsed every aspect of the interview. They have given multiple mock interviews. So when a question is thrown at them, they don't feel flustered. They are out there. They exactly understand what is being asked and what should be my answer. And knowing what you can answer, how well you can articulate and present, automatically gives you that confidence. So confidence is not something you have to fake that look at me, I can talk anything. It's not that. It comes through the mundane practice and mock sessions that you do. You take the feedback of your mentors or peers, you inculcate and corroborate that feedback into your interview sessions, and when then you go next time and then you add value, then you feel that you know the answer or you can give a better answer. I think that is a game changing scenario. Many a times, what I observe is when the candidates come for interview, they will say like, many a times they use fillers. It shows their lack of practice. The second thing is most important, introduction. Every interviewer invariably is going to ask you about how can you please introduce yourself. Now upon knowing that this question is going to come, yet people don't prepare for it, and when they come they appear so confused, so what to answer to this. This is a no brainer question which was going to come. Now that you were aware, why didn't you prepare for it? When a person talks about themselves in 40 to 50 seconds or around 60 seconds in a very succinct way, it gives an impression that this person has put in a lot of efforts. He or she exactly know what to talk. Their filter mechanism is so strong that they are not going to talk randomly about anything and everything around their life. They are going to touch upon the key aspects of their life, which will then help the interviewer to gain more insights about you as a person, which will make him to aid his decision about a selection or non-selection. But what facts you're giving to him? Many times people say, I'm from this city, here I was born, my family members are so and so. Nobody wants to know all these details. All they want to know is your basic upbringing. Where are you from? What are the qualifications you hold? What are the certifications you've done? Then your extracurricular activities. That speaks more about you as a person. It could be sports, it could be Toastmasters competition, debate competition, essay writing competition, it could be some advanced certification in AI tools. That talks about more about you without you talking about yourself. It shows the skill set that you have honed. It shows your willingness to tap upon different dimensions. It's open to everyone. Nowadays, knowledge is very freely available. But how much have you sought in the process? It shows also, again, your seriousness towards seeking a particular job. From the MBA parlance, if somebody knows AI tools better, it gives a sense that they are aware of what's going on in the present scenario. They are not away from it. So that gives a very robust and very compelling picture to the interviewer that I should select this person. And the candidate should also be aware why they have made certain decisions, like why I'm choosing MBA. It was not, you cannot say that I'm choosing an MBA because I want to seek a job. That's, everyone knows that. What made you to choose MBA in finance? What made you choose an MBA in marketing? Or if you're doing IT software, what made you choose something? So you should have a very clarified answer for that. It cannot be beating around the bush. And that should come out during interview, because then it shows your clarity. The moment there is clarity, there is clarity can give a lot of other aspects about your personality to the interviewer. It shows maturity, it shows the fact that you have thought enough, it shows your thoughtfulness, seriousness. So it becomes very important that you clearly lay out why you're choosing a particular course. Also, you talk about certain other things that is your passion. For example, I can say that numbers, I'm very passionate about analysis and crunching numbers. So I have chosen MBA in finance. Now think about this as a statement versus I chose MBA in finance because it has good opportunities. You see the difference? Doctor, how
Yeah, yeah.
the
That's fine.
sentences, how they create a vibe. One sentence shows why exactly I've chosen something because I'm passionate about it, versus the other one seems to be very lame, very generic, very unthoughtful sentence which says that I have chosen MBA because it has a lot of job opportunities. It doesn't. It should speak more about what kind of a person you are. Now, many times I've seen you people just read out resumes. Imagine, like resume says you have done BCom, MCom, MBA, and you exactly come and just by heart it and say, I've done BBA, I've done MCom, and then I have done MBA. So what? Why did you choose MBA? What drives you as a person? What are you passionate about? What is your work ethic? Given an opportunity, what is the value addition you're going to do for the organization you would enter into? These are the things which makes you a person of caliber, of someone who would be looked after in an interview, not like a lame person who just says I've done this, done that. So done this, done that is available here. What extra you're telling me? Might as well I could read your resume. So one has to be very aware what and how they talk about themselves. And for that, a robust preparation is important. You see, making a 2-hour movie is easier than making a 10 seconds impactful ad. This is also applicable to interview process. Giving your
Okay. Yeah.
terse introduction, I think, is more difficult than beating around a bush and talking about it all the time.
So that kind of answers, you should need not give your entire life story when, you know, they ask you about, tell me about yourself.
Right.
So let's go ahead and do the, you know, why do you recommend somebody do a SWOT analysis before an interview? And how can a young person identify with their strengths when they don't have much experience?
So, coming to SWOT analysis and importance of it, I think it's very important. You should know your strengths, because if one knows their strengths and then they practice more of their strengths, they get better and better at it. So, acing a particular skill becomes easier once you know your strengths. That's number one. Knowing your weaknesses, you know how you can maneuver your professional career, knowing that you where you're weak at. Let's say if I'm weak at analysis, or if I'm not good with mathematics, then I will not choose those jobs which includes robust analysis and crunching of numbers all the time. So it doesn't mean that I'm not competent, or I'm less capable. No, it means that I have certain other skill set and I would like my career to be nudged in that direction, rather than if I just it's like this. If Sachin Tendulkar would have tried to sing songs and Lata Mangeshkar would have tried to play cricket, both of them would have been miserable at what they would do. But they are successful because they chose the right careers for themselves. So similarly, knowing your strengths and weaknesses makes you choose a right career path. Then practicing your strengths makes you better and better at what you do. So let's say if communication is my forte, it's not if it's my forte, it doesn't mean I'm the best communicator in the world. I can still work upon it, own it, watch more of TEDx videos, practice in my own time. How can I communicate better? And I'll get better and better at it. So obviously it will open a lot of opportunities for me, which I cannot think of at this point, right?
Okay. So, right, that's about strengths. What about weakness?
Weaknesses are important for you to A, correct, retune your own mindset. That's one. And then not get into the professions which are not in sync with you. That is second. And knowing your weakness is also helpful for you to convert some of them into strengths. Only if I know that I am weak at something, I will try to work upon it and make it work in my favor, make it as my strength. So that way the weaknesses help a lot in interviews. Many times, when asked upon the weakness, people brazenly say that this is my weakness, that I'm less confident. I don't encourage people saying that, because nobody wants people who are less confident, low on energy. If you were an interviewer, would you like a person who says, I'm low on energy, that's my weakness? No. You would want a person who is vibrant, robust, who can go all out to, meet your organization's goals. So somewhere you should give a weakness which is something which can be, you know which has some positive context to it. Like, for example, over hardworking, or having too much attention to detail, paying attention to details. So all these can be weaknesses if overdone, but if done in right quantity, they can still attribute to the strengths of a person. But straightforward weaknesses is a straightforward no to call out in an interview. That I would certainly recommend.
Okay, so that's a good answer. And yeah, definitely, I think our viewers should take note of it. Okay, then we're going on, moving along. We say, what happens if an interviewer asks a question and you simply don't know the answer to that? Is it okay to say, I don't know?
I think it is absolutely okay to give a fair no answer rather than beating around the bush, because the interviewer's job fundamentally is to judge you. So they are judging every word you speak, every gaze you make, every hand gesture, body language that you depict at that time. So if you don't know something, sooner or later they are going to find it out. So there's no point, faking it. Just mention that I don't know the answer, but I would try to research around it, or I would try to know about it, so that I'm more prepared the next time. So you're also giving them a flavor that you are willing to learn. It's not like, if you don't know, I don't know, and I have a fake arrogance about it. I don't know something, I accept that, I don't know, and I'll try to learn as much as possible. So that's the vibe you're giving. uh, I think one of the noteworthy aspect here is no one knows everything, but very few people accept that. And so the interviewer also doesn't know everything, and he or she also acknowledges the fact that they don't know everything. So they are not expecting everything out of you. But then, when a googly question is thrown at you, how do you answer? How do you respond when you don't know the answer? Are you able to still conduct yourself gracefully in the pressureful situation? All these things are being tested, because at work there will be different scenarios every day. No 2 days could be alike. So how a person will respond? Will he or she feel bogged down, or they will be able to gracefully say that we don't know, but we will learn and we will turn around? It shows also your resilience to the overall process. So they will try to gauge all these skills when they throw weird questions at you, or probably the questions to which you don't know an answer to. So they'll try to judge these skills.
Okay, good. One other thing I wanted to ask was about interview
Mhm.
anxiety. So how can candidates manage anxiety before entering the interview or hall or joining a virtual interview?
So it's a very nice question about the anxiety, because every single person who is going to appear for an interview undergoes anxiety. So nobody is wary of it. But if you let it go all over you, you will put yourself in a difficult condition. And how much to let it impact you is a choice that you make. How do you make the choice? By just overthinking about it, by getting along with all the stress and anxiety it creates. So that is one way to go about it, which is a very negative mindset to conduct. The second way to go about it is understanding that this stress is good for my performance. I'm going to channelize my entire energy focusing on my performance alone. I'm not going to think of outcomes. I'm not going to think of how difficult it can be. I will try to think that whatever question is given to me, or it's thrown at me, I will try to answer to the best of my abilities. I have prepared enough. And I will try to gather myself, gather all the preparation, mock sessions, the study, the technical aspects which I have studied. I try to gather everything and put it in my bag, so easy to take it off when needed. So that way you try to make yourself more confident. Practical strategies to address it is deep breathing. Very simple yet powerful. When you go for an interview, always make sure you have done some amount of meditation or some amount of deep breathing. What it does is it keeps you poised at the moment. It doesn't move you or shatter you completely, because small breaths creates more pressure. You will feel like you're losing out on your breath, and then it's visible. Everyone can sense your anxiety. That's not a very good state to be in. Do a short prayer, whatever in shape and form you want to do it, because then you have practiced gratitude, you have practiced humbleness. It it reflects in your responses. When a humble person answers, there's a lot of you know composure and calmness to it. But when a person is responding out of anxiety, stress, there is a lot of visible signs of anxiety which is shown on his face, right? So that's not a very good state to be in. The third thing that I would recommend is always clear your throat before you go for an interview, because this may sound very simple, but it goes unnoticed. Many times people go in front of interview, they've come to my desk, and then they run out of their own voice. When they try to speak, their throat is not cleared, so they find it very difficult to talk. And when they try to clear their throat, they become all the more conscious, because I am observing, other panel members are observing them. And then it's very visible that they get conscious, and then that also that diminishes their confidence to a certain level. So it all can be avoided. Clear your throat, do some meditation, do some physical exercise before you come to an interview, because that releases endorphins in your body. The moment endorphins are released, we feel relaxed. The cortisol, which is the stress hormone, that doesn't get released when we exercise. It's happy hormones are released, so we feel good about ourselves. It's very important that a person feel good about himself or herself before they appear for interview, because that is a very judgmental process they are getting into. So if they feel good about themselves, then they can conduct themselves with grace. If they don't feel good about themselves, then they will all the more feel less confident, low on energy, and they will not even make eye contact, and they will be like, when this interview is getting wrapped up, which is not a good sign for the candidate. And obviously the likeliness of them getting selected is also less due to all this.
Right. So, have we covered most of the common interview mistakes, or would you like to enumerate them?
Common interview mistake is focusing only on your technical skills. That is a one major common mistake, because when the interview date is finalized, it's out there on the intranet of the colleges, people just go and start reading all the books. But do you prepare in your alone time with yourself? How am I going to talk about myself? I think that is first mistake. The second one is, you know people don't practice introductions. What I believe is they should write the introduction. And nowadays you have a lot of AI tools, so you can make use of them. Write a very good, thorough, crisp introduction about yourself. Practice it. Please understand, anything that appears effortless in a public space is a practiced art. It doesn't come naturally. Nobody is born with all the talent, confidence, and great communication skills. People nurture it over time, and that's why they are able to talk. So it's a very much learnable skill, like a language skill. We didn't know English when we were born because that was not our native language, but we learned it over the time as we went to school. We started interacting with different people. So likewise, even introducing yourself in a public space, is a learnable skill which people can do. Unfortunately, people don't focus on it, don't practice it, and go to the interview as if, you know, they will crack the interview based on their technical skills and smartness, but that doesn't happen. And instead, it appears the candidate to, depict as if he's over smart. So it doesn't go very well. Preparedness has to be holistic, it cannot be conditional. That is one. And I think other common mistake in interview is many a times people, they don't go very well groomed. They say, "Oh, on that day, my that jacket was my blazer was not available, so I did not wear it." But you were supposed to be prepared. These are the tiny things, but people observe because it's not about the attire you wear; it is about your seriousness for a job. And if a person is not serious, trust me, there is enough supply of people and shortages of jobs. So job will always go to the people who want it badly. So then you yourself are, uh, giving reasons to the interviewer to not select you, and then you question, why, what did I do? I did everything I could in my capacity. No, you were supposed to arrange for a blazer, even if it meant sacrificing 30 minutes of studying whatever. If you are an engineer or an MBA, even if it means compromising 30 minutes of studying your technical aspects, you should have done it. Because you're joining the organization not just for your technical skills. Entire you are coming to office, so you are your own brand. But you treat yourself like, I know this much, so I'll be able to excel. No, you are bringing yourself to the table, which means you're going to interact with people daily. All the people interacting with each other daily are going to create an organization culture, a very subconscious culture, which is organically getting created, and you are party to it. So the HR is very, very keen on observing how serious you are, how observant you are, how present in the moment you are, which people are not. And then faking the answers at times when you don't know, that is another straight no no. Like, biggest mistake I would say that people end up doing, because it shows you are so unauthentic. You don't value integrity at all. And who would like to work with a person who does not have integrity and who has very categorically displayed lack of integrity in their interview? Why would they be selected? So if you don't know something, be authentic about it. People value, see, integrity is something, or work ethic, good work ethic is something people are genuinely looking forward to, because all other skills can be trained. I can train you on AI skills, but I cannot train you on how you can talk better with others, unless you want to learn. So here your mindset comes into play, here your unique qualities come into play, which are very personal to you. So that is why it becomes very, very important how you conduct yourself and how you make your qualities visible to the interviewers.
Okay,
People many
that's
times don't post on anything on LinkedIn, and when the company comes, then suddenly they start posting on LinkedIn. That also doesn't go very well. LinkedIn channel should be used judiciously, to reflect your point of views about various topics related to your core subjects, or any changes in the industry wide scenario. But people don't use it. Or if you had any good event in your college or organization or Toastmasters, how frequently you post it. So when you post periodically and the HR goes and checks your profile, he will know much more about you as a person without even you telling about it. So you tell the HR that I know about the RBI repo rate because you have written an article around it. You have given your views about the sanctions. You have given your views about the war. So it shows your awareness. So without you talking about your knowledge, your profile should talk about your knowledge. And people don't find it important to really go ahead and post it on a LinkedIn platform, which is a very professional platform where people can post, but they don't use it, and people are busy checking other people's posts, but they don't post themselves. So for social media, don't be a consumer, be content creator in that space, so that you get more traction, you create your own brand. So everyone should understand each one is unique in their persona. Nobody can copy each other. So you should try to become the best version of yourself. You should try to be as visible as possible in the public domain on professional platforms. The most prominent, which I am aware of, is LinkedIn, where people post their job accomplishments, their career journeys. But people, some of them don't do it at all, and they realize it later. And when they start doing it, that is the point they start creating their footprints in the social media space. But that will not help them, because the interviewer might feel that since we are going to come for an interview, suddenly the posts are happening from that point onwards. It should happen irrespective. So these are some of the, I think, common mistakes that candidates don't even realize they're committing, but they end up committing, I think.
I think more or less you've covered it all. So we've come almost to the end of the program. So just your final thoughts. Maybe you want to give some final advice, like, if your candidate, young candidate, you would want to give some advice. So three pieces of advice, before that next interview. What would they be?
First one, no compromise on practicing mock interviews. Practice is the only thing can give you sufficient confidence to actually face the interview session. Second one, be confident in your own skin. Don't try to compare with others. Just focus on your own performance. You are your own competition. There is no other person like you. There is no other person who can replace you. So you are your own competition. Check your gradient, how fairly you're doing compared to what person you were 4 months back or 2 months back. So look at your journey alone. The moment you get into the competitive mode with other people, trust me, you're not going to get anywhere, because there is always going to be somebody better than you. Then are you going to get bogged down by the fact that somebody is better than me, or you're going to check your gradient of improvement and pat on your back that you have improved significantly? So where you're going to channelize your energy is important. It's a personal choice, so choose wisely. And the third and the last thing that I would tell everyone is be present on social media. Because, and when I say social media, on a professional space like LinkedIn, it is very important. Today, your social presence is like a social currency. HR, first thing they're going to do is go and check your LinkedIn profile, how many followers you have, how visible you are, what are the kind of posts you make on social media like LinkedIn. So all these things will be traced. It is going to talk a lot about you than you actually talking about yourself. So be aware of it. Post, make sure every week you at least put one post related to your core subjects, related to the latest news around your area of expertise. Or you can you can repost some of the good posts that you have read. It shows your reading, it shows your awareness, it shows your consistency. So all these qualities are important, and that is something which is visible to people without you talking about yourself. So please do that meticulously. It will go a long way in building your persona.
Thank you very much, Ji. It was a great talk and very good advice for people going for interview. Especially your, last piece of advice. So, and everything else that you had talked about. So it is so much valuable, and I think which is so current and so also so on the spot, on the dot. So you've hit the nail on the head. So I think all our viewers should look into this and prepare themselves and practice, groom, and as well as all the other things that Gauri ji has mentioned. So I think we have. Thank you so much for having come on our platform to do a session, particularly for young people, for on interviewing skills and how to crack them, and also how to become a successful professional. So I think our viewers will find it very interesting, and they will also, find it so different. You know, so they will. It's a way they can change themselves, and it may make a big change in their careers and life too. So with this, I thank you very much, and thanks very much for coming on our platform, even on a Sunday, on a late Sunday evening, very coming on our platform and talking to us tirelessly. So I really appreciate you. It was an awesome talk and a great talk as well. So looking forward to many more such conversations with you, and we'll see you soon on another show and on another time. So thank you very much, Ji. Thank you so much for
Thank you so
everything.
much.
Uh, Thank you so much for everything. Have a great evening. Have a great rest of the day. And yeah, take care until we see you next time. So until then, it's bye. Thank you very much. Good
Thank you
evening.
so much for having me. Even I had a wonderful time at this session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.